The next sutta is 1.19. 1.19, there are several suttas here, but I'll just choose one of them. The Buddha said, even as monks in this rose apple land, that is Jambudvipa, trifling in number are the pleasant parks, the pleasant groves, the pleasant grounds and lakes, while more numerous are the steep precipitous places, unfordable rivers, dense thickets of stakes and thorns, and inaccessible mountains. Just so few in number are those beings that welcome, when they hear it, the Dhamma Vinaya, set forth by a Tathagata. More numerous are they that do not. That's the end of the sutta. Here the Buddha is saying that in India, the accessible places where people can use are very much less than those places which are inaccessible, like steep places, mountains, dense forests and jungle, unfordable rivers, etc. You must remember this sutta was spoken 2,500 years ago. So the number, the amount of inaccessible places was much more during that time than now. And the Buddha said that few people, just like the amount of places that are accessible, so small amount compared to the whole of India. So in the same way, few people out of the many want to listen to Dhamma Vinaya. Dhamma Vinaya is teaches us the truth or reality about existence, and it is actually painful to hear the reality of existence. And sometimes people don't want to face the truth, they want to face the reality. They would like to believe what they want to believe, what they like to believe. Because of that, few people want to listen to the Dhamma and the disciplinary code taught by the Buddha, the Vinaya. So in other words, we don't expect to have many followers of the Buddha's teaching. In fact, most Buddhas, when they are enlightened, do not want to teach. Just like our Buddha, Gautama Buddha, after he was enlightened, he contemplated the minds of living beings, and he found that few people are inclined to listen to the Dhamma, and even if they listen, even fewer want to practice it. So he actually wanted to be a Pacheka Buddha, but later he was persuaded by this Brahma Sahampati to turn the wheel of the Dhamma, and he did so. We find this happens more than once, that sometimes the Buddha is not inclined to do something, and somebody appeals to him to change his mind. Sometimes they appeal once, he doesn't want to change his mind. Then they appeal a second time, still he doesn't want to change his mind. But when they appeal the third time, out of compassion, he will change his mind and do something that at first he was not inclined to do. So this shows that actually Pacheka Buddhas are able to teach, but it's just that they are not inclined to teach. It's not like some of the later books say that Pacheka Buddhas are unable to teach, because whatever path that they have walked through, it is very clear to them, the path that they have walked through. So it shouldn't be difficult at all for them to teach. And they would rather teach actually by example. They show a good example of being a renunciant, and they practice, and perhaps if people ask them individually of the Dhamma, they might teach, but they're not inclined to teach to the whole world, turn the Dhamma wheel. And some people think that that is selfishness, but it is not selfishness. because it appears to me that every being has his own time, and the best teacher is suffering, because when we suffer enough, and it will bring us to walk the path. If we have not been in samsara, we are not suffered enough, we are not spiritually mature, even if the Buddha is around, we would not be inclined to follow his teaching. So that is why we find that during the Buddha's time, there were many people who did not want to follow the Buddha's teachings, even though the Buddha was in the world.